afternoon and good evening to a few of you. Welcome to today's community briefing. I always have to look at the calendar. Even though I know what the day is, I always have to look to double check. Today is the 8th of September in the year 2022. And we are here in the Los Angeles area. And thank you for joining us. We've got a great show today. Our guest is Sharon, hope I pronounce it right, Padua, and Moaz Hamid. And they will be sharing some wonderful and fabulous information about their organization and the things that they do. I looked at Moaz, and his background filled like 7 pages. So he's done a lot. He's been a lot of places. So we look forward to hearing from him and also from Sharon from the Big 50. Big 50, yeah.
Got it.
So, there you go. Hang loose. Hang loose. There you go. So, my name is Gregory Sneed, and I have a company, Lifesaver Financial Services. I help my clients keep more of the money that they make, and I do that through life insurance solutions, financial coaching, and financial literacy training, because you want to be smarter about your money. Sometimes your money might be smarter than you. And sometimes you and your money are not on speaking terms. I can help you with that, so that I believe that when you feel better about your money, you feel better about your life. And now it's my pleasure to welcome to our virtual stage the queen of our community briefing, Miss Crystal Mitchell.
Good morning, everyone. So happy to be here. We haven't gotten through the heat wave, but I think we're surviving the heat wave. At least I'm trying. I'm not getting much sleep, but I'm trying. So, welcome to the community briefing. We are pleased to have you. We have two amazing guests with exciting backgrounds, so you guys are going to be thrilled. They're Robin Billups, our other co-host, her partner. So we are anxiously waiting to hear what they have to tell us. The community briefing is a platform that was created for you guys to make for our business community, for our community, so that we could stay in the know with up to the moment information that is happening around us and on our behalf sometimes and sometimes not. We come here to meet our leaders and stakeholders who's making things happen. And so we're real pleased that our show is continuing on. We have a great team. As Garrick said, I am Crystal Mitchell. I am the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars, as well as I have my own business practice where I assist small business owners in making sure that they're business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. My focus is on accounting and finance. I also host a show called The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. We broadcast live every Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, so please check us out. We have a good time over there. Excuse me, this program is sponsored by and empowered by Recycling Black Dollars and the Black Business Association, the BBA, as well as our monetary sponsors, Southern California Edison, Wells Fargo, and the SoCal Gas. So we want to thank them for supporting our platform, and we want to thank everyone that joins us every week. And please continue to join us and please continue to share. And so our team, Mr. Gregory Sneed, me, myself, Crystal Mitchell, Ms. Robin Billups, and Mr. Stephen Turner, we all welcome you. And with that, Greg, I am going to kick it back over to you.
Yes. Okay. So Stephen Turner will not be joining us today. He is actually in the air as we speak, heading to the city of Atlanta. So he'll be viewing the recording. And then our other co-host, Robin Billups, is with us today. And I'm sure, Robin, you'll chime in every now and then if you can. So we look forward to hearing from you. Today, we have two guests. Our first guest, Sharon Padau, is the Director of Major Gifts at the MLK Community Health Foundation. Everybody knows what MLK is, Martin Luther King Community Health Foundation, here in the LA area. And she helps to develop and execute strategies to widen the reach of the organization's philanthropic programs. So she's going to recruit and engage volunteer leadership to grow a philanthropic culture. She has also served at the Library Foundation of Los Angeles. Los Angeles. She was director of major and planned gifts. She was at PUENTE Learning Center and the director of development. The California Science Center Foundation, associate campaign director. The Junior Blind of America, a development manager. And also the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, assistant director of major and planned gifts. She has a degree, Bachelor of Arts from UCLA, a graduate certificate from the Cal State University Northridge, a Master's of Public Administration from Cal State Northridge, and a certified specialist in planned giving from Cal State University Long Beach. So she knows how to find money and get money for worthy events. Our other guest, Moaz Hamid, has a very fabulous and extensive background in just about everything, has been just about everywhere, and he'll share more about that with us in a moment. But he considers himself a mission-driven technologist and strategist, that he's helping to solve for the future for jobs, accessibility, medicine, as well as the role of robotics and artificial intelligence. He's been previously a general manager and partner with Google, Microsoft, HTC, Vanguard, Nordic Capital, and Palm. He currently has ventures with advisor with Simply Fiber and Enlighten AI. He's a mentor and advisor for early stage founders. Yellow by Snap, Fast Track by First Round Capital, IEAD Sports and Health Tech, Founder Institute. I could go on and on and on. All right. I asked him where he went to school, and he said he went to school at 20 different places. We are not going to rattle all of them off. And he's going to be sharing with us his background and his passion and why he is doing what he does. So I think we're going to hear first from Sharon, and then is that okay with you, Moaz? Ladies first? Okay. We're going to hear first from Sharon, and you'll need to take yourself off mute. And this is your time to shine.
All right.
So please welcome to the virtual stage, Sharon Padua.
Thank you, Gregory. Thanks, Crystal. You guys have the perfect media voices, I gotta say. Really, really good. So I just want to tee up the conversation a little bit by talking about MLK healthcare and what I do, and then how I'm fortunate enough to have someone like Moaz and Robin join me in our pursuit to help expand the work of MLK Community Healthcare into the community. Let me just change this a little bit. So just some background, MLK Community Hospital opened in 2015, and since then it has grown dramatically. It is now a healthcare system that includes 131 bed hospital and 3 outpatient clinics. We also do a robust community education program. And we do that. We're based in Watts, Willowbrook area, but our reach is being amplified now with the work that we're doing in the community. So as Gregory said, my role is to really help raise funds and awareness about MLK. And the way I do that is working with amazing volunteers through the Dream Council. And the Dream Council is, it's a group of volunteers in the community. There's about 11 so far. And the purpose of this group is really to bring the news of MLK out into their networks. A lot of times we found out that when you're based in South LA and when you're based in any kind of community, it's hard to get people outside of that community to really pay attention. And so this is our way of bringing our work outwards using our ambassadors. So with that being said, you know, Moaz has been so kind enough to join me here today, but I really want to turn it over to him and share why he's decided to, you know, lend his time for MLK, even knowing he has a 7-page resume, that he has other things to focus on. So I was just say thank you for this opportunity. Thanks to Robin for making this introduction, and I'll leave it to Moaz.
Yeah, thank you, Crystal and Gregory, for having us with you. Like Sharon said, I'm part of the Dream Council at Martin Luther King Jr. Community Hospital Foundation. The reason why I joined the foundation, given my extensive tech background, I was always searching for how can we improve people's life around us with the technology that we're building. And it happened that, as Gregory was telling you earlier, I've been all over the world just to finish my school alone because I had a diplomat mother who was trying to solve basically word problems at the time. Her assignment was taking us all over the world, from North Africa to the Middle East to Asia to Europe. And basically I learned a lot from her. But the most important thing I learned from her was that everything that in front of us that is not working today, we could do something about it. And it doesn't matter where it is in the world, we still could go there and fix it and come back here and we could see the result that reflect to us here. And as I started my next journey and the next chapter of my life building movement venture, a venture fund that is focusing in the disability space, I realized very early on that in order for me to be able to launch something successful, I need to be part of the community that we're trying to serve, basically. And I found that Martin Luther King Hospital is basically so integrated in one of the most like desperate neighborhood in terms of services, especially health services. And the work that Martin Luther King Jr. Hospital is doing, it's just incredible. I highly recommend that all of you take a visit to the hospital, not as a sick people, but just now as a healthy piece of people. Go to the
Not
hospital,
via
walk
ambulance, right?
inside, just take a look, get a tour. Call me and Sharon. We'll give you the tours around the hospital and show you like the amazing work that we've been doing in South LA, and that this work, in order for it to continue, we need to collaborate, all of us together as ventures, as enterprises, and as individual as well. And bringing the tech piece of it also, where we could bring new innovation into the community that it's desperately needing for these services to help us scale those services as well. That's actually influenced my decision even more to be part of this. But it didn't take me much effort to actually join them. It's just as soon as you get to learn what they're working on and the struggle that is happening within the community and how they're trying to solve it as a hospital, just show you like a hospital, it's almost like the city council of the neighborhood, because it's solving really neighborhood problem, not just patient problems. So I'm gonna stop here and give it back to you, so to give us some of your questions and hopefully answer a lot of them for you.
So highlight, let's say, between the two of you, 2 or 3 major accomplishments that have happened. Let's narrow it down, just maybe within this last year, the last 8 months.
Oh, I'm happy to chime in there. One is that we received a certification from the Centers of Medicare as being among 10% of the best hospitals, and that's something that is a first for us, and only 10% of hospitals get that kind of recognition. So it means a lot that a healthcare system like MLK, that's only really been around for 10 years, is reaching that kind of audience and getting those kinds of accolades. I'll mention too, just, from a fundraising standpoint, we are focusing on 5 big priorities at the hospital right now. And one is expanding our services to include prenatal care. Prenatal care in South LA is quite dire. And, we're really focused on ensuring the health of moms and babies. And so we're working hard to raise money and capital to build out our services to offer prenatal care. And that'll include hiring doctors, hiring certified midwives to help our moms have healthy babies. We're also working on ensuring a diverse healthcare workforce. And I feel like that's your vernacular, building a workforce that is reflective of our community and of our culture. We do a lot of programs for youth. We do high school internships. We just wrapped up an internship program for MSW students. college students, we have internships for them, we do a nurse residency, and we do physician residency. So we really are focused on building a workforce that at MLK with the hope that they'll stay at MLK, and if not, they'll still stay in South LA or go to a community like South LA and continue their work there in a community that might not get a lot of attention, and you know, a lot of doctors might not think that they want to practice there, and we're trying to change that. And another area we're working on is building up our community education. And that's something that I'm really excited about. This, you know, I think you think about a healthcare system, you think about patients in offices, in medical offices. Well, we do a lot of work out in the community. And one that I'm particularly proud of is called Man Up. They are community events that we hold at barbershops, and we have 9 set up this summer, 9 barbershops throughout South LA, and Compton and Inglewood. And they're basically health screenings for men, because it's been proven that a lot of men are kind of afraid of going to the doctor. And so if we have these screenings at the barbershop, it's a supportive space. You know, we offer resources. You can get your blood pressure taken, you can get your BMI checked. And then we have resources where if he doesn't have a primary care doctor, we can make that kind of referral. So it's that kind of work too, where we're really trying to get people to take charge of their own health, and using the spaces that are already out in the community. So those are just examples of what we're doing at the foundation, and what Moaz and Robin, and I see Zanetta's online too, that we're doing, just trying to spread the good word about this type of work that goes beyond the hospital walls.
I think I went to one of those events. It was on North La Brea in Inglewood, at the Salon 333 Salon, something like that. I think it was this year. You know, since COVID, it seems like time extended and suspended altogether. But that was there were 4 panelists sitting in barber chairs, and then that was the name of the program, Man Up.
Yeah, that was us. And we took a break because, like you said, of COVID, but we brought it back up this summer.
So this was post-COVID. This was
Man Up was post. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just earlier this year.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. We took a break from 2020.
Yeah. No, that wasn't that long ago. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not that senile yet.
That's been going on for a while, though, right? I think I read many years ago that was something, because, you know, the idea is that men get most of their information in barbershops.
Yeah.
Women as well, and hair salons as well. Yeah, that's been going on around the country, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something that we've adopted and found like a great success.
That was very nice. It was very, very informative. The same question for you, Moaz. Big accomplishments, top 3 accomplishments in the last 8 months.
Yeah, so basically the number 1 accomplishment is to basically bring and highlight the work that we're doing at Martin Luther King Jr. Community Hospital, and bring it to the attention of as many people in our network as possible. So regardless if it's a podcast, or it's an event where we integrate them, or it's an in-person event where we invite Martin Luther King Jr. Community Hospital to join us. So that's the major work that we are doing as the Dream Council, and to recruit new members also to the Dream Council that will help us expand the message of the Dream Council. So in top of everything that Sharon mentioned, they give us the guidance in where the hospital need to go, and our main job is to basically expand this message beyond the wall of the hospital and into diverse community as well, especially the tech community, which might not be even looking at the hospital or the community of South LA.
Next question will be, Sharon, what is the upcoming, or what has been some of the challenges or hurdles that you're finding maybe some difficulties or challenges trying to overcome that are our goals for, let's say, the coming 6 to 12 months?
Well, always, you know, I think especially in a nonprofit sector, you're always needing to get your message out with limited dollars. So that's part of why we established the Dream Council, is to spread awareness. I do think, you know, like I mentioned before, and I've worked in nonprofits for a long time, I think when you're based in the community, it's hard to get people outside of that community to pay attention. And so that's a challenge that we'll always face. But one way MLK is trying to overcome that is by, you know, we have a lot of, if you visit our website, you'll see we have a lot of videos about our programs, and we use these videos as media pieces to send out to the community. So it's a way to introduce people to what's going on at MLK in the hospital to someone that's over in Atlanta. So another way we do that is we have something called the Dream Show. It used to be called the Dream Lunch, and that was an in-person kind of a fundraising event. But obviously with COVID, we stopped that. But then we pivoted to a show, like a film, like a 45-minute film. And that has worked wonders for us because it's a film that we can use to highlight stories of neighbors from South LA. And then once it's done, it's a piece that we can still share with people throughout the world. And we've gotten a lot of attention that way. And we've also been able to engage people not in LA to participate in our show. So for example, Darren Walker, who is with the Ford Foundation, he was one of our speakers. And last year we had Brian Stevenson from the Equal Justice Initiative, Equal Justice Institute be our main speaker. And our show for 2023, we've been able to secure a speaker. Her name's Reverend Kelly Brown, and she is in Washington, D.C. So that's one way we're trying to overcome this kind of silo of being in South LA, but we really want to amplify our message, you know, beyond. So I think Crystal mentioned this before, it's media. I think it's media that's going to get us there.
Mm-hmm.
And Moaz, same question for you. You know, big obstacles, challenges, looking to overcome in the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, it's incorporating the messaging of Martin Luther King Jr. in all the messaging that we highlighting. We've been able to navigate that and basically be able to integrate some of the members from the hospital to join us in event that has nothing to do with hospitals, but it's related to the venture world and the tech world, and basically be able to educate them as well, because a lot of people don't even realize like the history of Martin Luther King Community Hospital in LA is all connected to the history of LA as well. It's not there is only serving there is a hospital that is serving South Los Angeles, but it's been a hub of change as well, and the stability of the community of Los Angeles. So this education that we've been able to bring to the tech community was something that we've been proud of, and we want to do a lot more of. So literally, if there is any challenge, is it's recruiting people fast enough to basically help us expand the message and to basically help keep the message growing, as in a way in supporting the foundation and contributing to the foundation. So my main goal right now is to expand this philanthropic giving from the community of tech toward the hospital as well. But use it in a way that also could give them back something as well, so where they could introduce some of the technology that they're trying to validate, where the hospital have a lot more knowledge of what works and what doesn't work, and what we could try and see it's new to us. So instead of building things completely disconnected, as you know from the tech history, a lot of the time they build things where it just end up disrupting what's really working, and instead of building something thoughtful. But by integrating the hospital into this communication, especially in digital health, which is dramatically increasing today in terms of the number of startups and entrepreneurs and venture capital that is going toward that. Helping to show them like there is a place where they could validate this, where they could test people that they could talk to that been tested and tried and know what's work and what doesn't work for a community. So this is the task for me for this year, hopefully, and the next year.
You mentioned technology, which is increasingly a part of medicine. Historically, medicine was, you can think back to the days of it was a witch doctor, and they were concocting some portion and boiling it in the kettle and worshiping to the gods, and now we've come, you know, I would say millions of miles, you know, in time to technology, where it's not just the physical science of it, but technology is huge, and AI. So, you know, where is that now? Where is that heading? at some point in time, I can see you wouldn't even you wouldn't even see a human doctor. You would step in the room and there'd be some robot there and scanning
Yeah.
you.
So you mentioned in my bio a startup that I'm an advisor for. It's called Enlighten AI. So Enlighten AI is one of the startup that basically building technology that allow. He's a father. The founder of the startup is a father. So he was building this tech for his son. His son have epilepsy, so he have seizures from time to time. And as you know, the medication for the seizure, basically, it's given this hour and this hour and this hour, but seizures, they're unpredictable. They could happen at any time. So what he's building is basically a technology that allow him to see when are the seizures happening, what is the severity of it. And there is no way to do this without AI. So he built an AI company to basically analyze these seizures as they happen. When was the medicine introduced? How did it affect the seizure and the severity of the seizure? So it could give a lot more live information to the doctor and allow a doctor to monitor this remotely. So there are a lot of innovation in this space that I believe could help us like expand the work of the hospital, especially as you know, with the shortage of doctors and nurses all around the state and all around the world. Technology could help us basically navigate this, especially AI, where it gives the analytical of the situation that is happening back to the doctor. So this is where AI is heading in the medical side. And I feel very lucky to be part of Martin Luther King Jr. Hospital Foundation because it's a place for me to even have this discussion with, and instead of tech people building tech alone, so to be able to bring them back to the hospital and eventually become even hopefully a donor or members or part of this hospital as well as when they grow their businesses.
If you ask 10 people, what is AI, you'll get 15 different answers. So share with us your version of AI. And should we embrace AI? Should we be afraid of it? I mean, all of us, but many of us seen Terminator, where machines become self-aware, and so what do you see? How do you define it, and where do you see it going?
Yeah, so the definition of AI is an extension of our knowledge that allow us to accomplish something faster. So that's my definition of it. Human is never out of this equation. Every time we try to remove a human from the equation, we end up with something really messy. And even the smartest people out there who try to do something that is separate from human, they all failed. Even the couple of $1 trillion companies that out there that been trying to remove humans from the equation, also they failed. So as an extension to the human, it allows us to do a lot more and be more efficient with the work that we do in order for us to be able to live a healthier life that we want to live. And without it, it's basically we are sitting in front of our laptops 24/7 trying to accomplish something which could take us 5 minutes to accomplish. So that's where I see AI, and I see that it's if the person who is building it trying to remove human from the equation, he will always building something messy and it's not functioning the way that it needs to function. But when we think of it as an extension of human to allow us to do things quicker, to do things more efficient, to do things correctly, then I see the value of AI.
Where do you see? Well, what percentage? What is the field? Obviously, you think of a hospital, you think of physical science with the body, physical health, but mental health is also very important. And we hear a lot about homeless, where it's a mental issue versus not strictly a housing issue. Where is the foundation? Where is the center when it comes to some of the mental health treatments and challenges?
I'm glad you brought that up. We do have an integrated behavioral health department at MLK, and that is one of our funding priorities as well. But it's basically looking, like you said, at mental health as being a real, it's part of our health in general. So a lot of folks will come in to our hospital with advanced diseases, and we'll treat the physical symptoms, but we'll also treat the mental health system. So we do have psychiatrists and psychologists on staff. You also mentioned homeless patients. We have a program called Street Medicine that does just that. We deliver medical care directly out into the streets. We have 3 dedicated vans, and the team that goes out also includes a clinical psychologist, because we recognize that a lot of our homeless patients, a large majority of them have mental health issues. And so it's a way to offer some kind of stability. Obviously, given their living situation, it's not, we can refer them to other places to get services. But what's also really key about our street medicine program is that it's consistent. We'll go to the same place every week, and we'll have resources. We'll call them clients, and we'll basically treat them like patients. But again, to your point, mental health is something that we're all very, very aware of at the hospital, and trying to raise resources to really make sure that continues to be a big part of our treatment.
Last question, and then I'll turn it over to Crystal. So we talked about the MANA program and men in health, and men traditionally are very apprehensive and reluctant to see a doctor. Is that improving? Is it staying the same? Is it getting worse? Where are we with that?
Well, I think with the MANA program, it's one example is that we are seeing referrals from that program into our primary care clinics. So I think it's working in that regard. We're educating folks in their barbershop chair, and we're saying, it's easy to get a doctor. You have insurance. A lot of these folks that are the barbershops have insurance. They just don't go to the doctor. So we try to make it very simple to say, we have a clinic over in Wilmington. Get checked out. They already, we have your information on file. We basically started one when you came to the screening, and make it very easy for them to start a journey with a doctor and just continue upkeep, maintenance. So I do think it's successful. I think it's a matter of just being consistent and making sure people know that we're there as a resource, and that it's just not a one-time thing. We have the ability to connect you to other medical resources for whatever phase in your life, and for your family as well.
Cool. Crystal, over to you.
Oh, thank you, Sharon and Moaz. So Sharon, you talked about the infant program. Is that also going to include for the women? Because we all know that Black women die 3 times more from pregnancies than any other ethnicity out there. How is that going to be part of that programming that you guys are going to?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's prenatal care. So it really is caring for the mom the minute she finds out she's pregnant. The sad truth is we get a lot of moms coming into our emergency room, like in labor, and a lot of them come presenting with no prenatal care beforehand. So that's not great. It's really not great. So this is why we're trying to solve that problem by establishing prenatal care to be sure that moms get seen early on. And so if there are problems, especially preeclampsia is a big issue, high blood pressure, to be able to screen for that. And it's easy to screen. It's really easy to screen. You can be put on some medications to help stem the most serious symptoms of that. But no, we're very aware it's maternal and infant health. And I also want to mention too, we just launched a lactation clinic. So it's a free lactation clinic over at our Compton clinic. So moms who might have a hard time breastfeeding their newborn can go see our lactation consultant, Lydia, who has a lot of experience in South LA, and she's a doula by trade. Just very informative, very supportive. So moms can find support there as well after they have their baby, and they're trying to find, ways to help breastfeed their baby easier, less stress. So we are really looking at a continuum of care. So when the mom gets pregnant, making sure she's healthy, and when the baby is born, making sure that the mom and baby have what they need to thrive in those first early months.
Yes, it's just because within the Black community, healthcare, sometimes is quite challenging. I know when I was caring for my mom, sometimes they don't even listen to you or their complaints, right? They, especially after, I think it seems like as soon as a person turns 65, you don't know your own body any longer. So, so they don't listen to your complaints, and that could be leading to something very detrimental to your health. And it seems to apply across the board, men, women, children. So that we're good to hear that. Glad to hear that. Michelle has a question. Michelle Bell, who's also in the She works with the Black Women's Wellness Group. What are the offerings for breast health and breast cancer?
Well, it's a great question. We currently do not offer mammograms at MLK, but we do have partners. So we refer our female patients that need mammograms or breast health screenings to a partner.
Okay. So, wow, like I said, it just so when it comes and Black men are terrified of going to doctors. So, and they don't go for their their checkups or anything, and that usually is a problem. So, what is the messaging out to our community that will make us feel more confident and comfortable coming to your hospital or any other hospital for that matter, so that we can prevent some of the catastrophes and illnesses and deaths that occur within our communities? I would imagine that goes across for Black and Hispanic.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's a program or other initiatives like this MANA program that we're doing, where we're trying to, it's like peer pressure, right? Like, oh, Bob's going to the doctor. All right. You know, like if three of your buddies get rally around, go to the barbershop, or feel like, all right, you know, I'll do this. I'll make my family happy. And maybe there's like power in that, you know, as a group. And again, I think it is about feeling supported. I know there's a lot of fear in the community about doctors, and I completely understand that. So I think that's also a challenge for us as a healthcare system to overcome. You know, how do you build and sustain that kind of trust? Because it's one thing to get someone to go to the doctor the first time, but you know, once they get there, you need to be sure that the physician that they're seeing and the staff that's seeing them is compassionate, is listening to, you know, what you said, Crystal, to what they're saying. And that is something that we strive to do at MLK. We're very culturally conscious. 80% of our staff are from the, you know, within a 5-mile radius of the hospital. So I think that is something that's very different about MLK, is that because we serve this community, we're very attuned to the dynamics of the community and the fears that might come with wanting to see a doctor, and the trust issues, basically. So, you know, it's going to be a long process, but I think part of it is just getting the conversations going and making sure that they know that we are a trusted resource.
Okay. There are many of us, Michelle, and there's a couple of us, Renee, that are involved in organizations, especially in wellness or programs. How can we help?
Well, Moaz, what do you say?
Involve us in what you're working on, and let's collaborate in expanding your message and our message together. Regardless of where you're going to speak, invite us with you. We'll invite you back to our events and our organizations as well. And we could do this together. Your success is our success as well.
Yeah, I believe it. It's perfectly said. And, you know, I'm happy to offer you and your groups a tour of the hospital. It's a beautiful space. We have outdoor patio. We can have lunch out there. I can introduce you to some of my amazing colleagues. I think that is, you know, once you see the space and meet people, the clinicians, the frontline staff, you'll be blown away, really. So I think that's one way. Let me know. I can arrange a visit anytime.
Absolutely. And the biggest thing that impressed me about the hospital the day one when I walked in is their commitment to the social determinant of health. Outside of the wall of the hospital, everything that they're trying to do, the mental health piece of it, their focus in youth and mental health for youth as they get into the hospital and beyond the wall of the hospital. So that was basically tell you like they're almost becoming the heart of South LA. So visit us and talk to us, reach out to us, so we give you those tours to get to see it for yourself as well.
That's awesome. I have some contacts with NAMI, that is very much involved in community outreach. Are you guys connected with NAMI for the mental health?
We are.
Okay.
We
cool.
are. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many health issues,
Great.
both mental and physical, that's within the minority communities. And when something happens to, you know, just like even with COVID, you know, when the rest of the world gets a cold, of course, in the Black communities, we have stage 4 pneumonia and are on our way out the door. And so being able to address that, to get that information out so people will get to a doctor before it becomes critical. It's so important within our communities. So we do appreciate the work that you guys are doing. Um, and making sure, because there's a stigma. It has been, and it may have been purposeful, that MLK was not the place to go to if you were ill. So getting that message out, that for especially for those that live in those communities, that it's okay to come there. What are some of the other programs that you have?
Well, I want to mention too that MLK Community Hospital is an entirely new institution. The one you're referring to is King Drew, right? That was shuttered years ago. And so this is an entirely new organization, and the difference is that it's public-private. It's a public-private partnership now. So that gives us a little bit more freedom. We have, as you know, I'm part of the foundation, so we help raise private support, and part of the county still helps and runs part of or owns the building, but the staff and the work within those buildings are all MLK. So it's a different model, which I think it's been successful, because we're really trying to not have any of the predecessors' reputation.
Okay.
And I think that's huge to differentiate.
Yeah,
it really is, because it had a. I'm a New Yorker, so I didn't grow up here, but it was similar. I grew up in Brooklyn, and there was a county hospital, and it was always it was better for gunshot wounds than elder care. So, Moaz, I see that you were formerly an advisor and executive partner for the Kasparov Chess Foundation. And well, first off, are you a chess player? And where do you see AI? Have you gone up against a machine, and have you won against a machine, or did the machine beat you, or how does that work?
The machine always wins. The machine always wins, because it see everything, even though you see it as well, but it's faster than you in finding which is the right one. So it's always going to win. So that's why I encourage all my AI colleagues who are building on this space to actually integrate human and use it as an extension to make us the superhuman who could actually play the chess and beat the other person, and instead of the computer beating us. Yeah, so Kasparov Chess Foundation, the idea of it was to, a lot of kids didn't like math at all. They liked to play chess, and once we taught them how to play it, they loved it. So we started teaching them math through chess, and that was the idea of Chess Foundation. By the way, Gary Kasparov himself, every time I sit next to him, I think he's an AI, because he's thinking all the time, 24/7, about move in a chessboard, even when he's not playing the game. Super incredible human.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have some friends. Sorry, Crystal. I know some friends that are just absolutely obsessed with it, and they're up at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning playing against people online. Yeah, it's pretty crazy there. So
I hope we get to the point where we could have a lot more parks in South LA, where we could have these chessboard all around the park and give us an opportunity to bring the hospital, even outside of the hospital, into this park too. So it's another conversation for the city and the community to think about. In San Francisco, is like one of my favorite things there is like within 10-minute walk from anywhere around the city, there is a park. It doesn't matter where you are, 10 minutes, you will see a park. If you keep walking 10 minutes more, you'll meet another park. I hope we do something similar to that in LA as well, especially South LA.
yeah, New York City parks have quite a few chess tournaments as well, and there's some where you don't step in there unless you really know your stuff. Renee, you have a question? You have your hand up, I see.
Back in the 80s, I had a robotics program at the Museum of Science and Industry for children. So I was just going to ask you that before you started talking about children. So it was one of the hottest things going on down there at the museum at the time. And it was in conjunction with Lego. And Legos made at that time kits for kids for robotics that they could make whatever they could think of. Now everything is pre-made. You buy a kit and you make a rocket, or you buy this or you buy that. And I wanted to know, I heard what you said about the math and the chess. What are you doing with children in the area of robotics?
Absolutely. So that will highlight some of the work I'm working on with SoftBank specifically, SoftBank Robotic. So basically, as we realize that the future of robotic, it's becoming like devices like an iPhone. An iPhone cannot do anything without us building apps for it. So that's exactly the future of robotic as well. So they're going to be devices out there. There is a robot, small one, bigger one with wheel, one without wheels. And the idea of it now is to teach kids how to build complete program that power this robot. And that's what we start doing in a lot of school around the state. And we're trying to expand it even internationally as well. Kids as young as 11 years old, we're teaching them simple programming language that allow them to basically program the robot and see the robot in action. So that exciting them about coding and programming, especially knowing that here in United States today, we have a 2 million job shortage of programmers. And that means we have to open our border and bring every coder around the world to come here. But that's not the way to do it. I believe we need to incorporate it into school as well and keep expanding our robotic program, maybe our chess program as well, because math is also the beginning of you learning about coding. But we were able to build a simple coding language for the kids that excite them about coding, where they could use blocks and take a block that tell the robot, walk forward, take another block, tell the robot, now raise your hand, take another block, now grab the item in front of you. And when they execute it, they see the robot moving, expanding his hand, grabbing something, and they get very excited about that. And then as they grow in the program, they are able to open these blocks and see the code inside of them. So they could write it by themselves as well.
Okay, Crystal, did you hear all that? Summer camp?
So you know my mind was working.
That's
So,
where I was headed.
so Moaz, I do several youth programs, but I teach kids how to be business owners. It's called Biz Institute. So I do that every year round, actually. So however we can incorporate that, but as well as, and this is both for the coding and so forth, but and the healthcare. I am sit on the board of a nonprofit called Pete Brown Jr. Tennis Program, and every quarter we do a health and wellness affair, and we're partnered up with the parks and NAMI, and we bring resources to our kids to the park. And so if you guys would be want to have a booth at one of our next health events, we can make sure we can make that happen. And you can we have about 150 kids that are there between the ages of school age up until 18 and 19. So we're always trying to bring academic programming or outside programming beyond just tennis to our kids. So if that is something of interest for you guys, we, of course, the parents are there. So talking about elder care and regular child care and all of those things. And our kids come from all over. We're in South LA. So if that's something you guys would be interested in, and I'd love to have that with my Biz Camp kids. Thank you, Renee.
You're welcome. I'm all for the kids.
Right, and it's so interesting. We just recently brought in someone on our program. She loves chess, and she does a summer. She's been doing a chess camp for kids. So we're looking at how we can incorporate that at Pete Brown, and she's taught her grandkids how. So let's talk and see what we can make that happen.
I want to be in that conversation.
Okay. All right, Renee.
Absolutely. And I'm all for teaching kids how to start their businesses as well. This is super incredible. We did one for during COVID as kids lost their summer internship. Mayor Garcetti office was keeping tab of at-risk youth in Los Angeles and basically make sure every summer they have summer internship. With COVID, they all lost these internships. So instead of letting them stay at home, we shrank down our entrepreneurship programs and actually started teaching kids in LA, around 140 child that summer. At the beginning of COVID, where we taught them about entrepreneurship, how to think about problems within their community and think of them as startups and as solutions and as something that they could raise capital and build and actually solve. So the program was one of the most successful programs. 3 series attended to see the ceremony at the end and how we did the program in order for them to learn from it as well.
That's
So
awesome.
entrepreneurship for youth, I think it's going to be something incredible for the future of LA, especially them knowing that they could create these jobs even if they cannot find them. And these jobs could be something that is solving their community problems and instead of running away from the community because of its problems. Something we could change. And this is the tools and the simple step that you could do in order for you to start building a solution toward that. So that was the base of it. The kids, they're very smart as well. They have their own idea and their own opinion about what they want to do in the future. So some of them were interested in fashion waste. And I was completely shocked at 16 years old, worried about fashion waste. So I had to reach out to a few friends in the fashion industry to come and talk to them about technology and innovation in fashion. And some of them were interested about writing as well. A lot of youth in LA were interested about writing. So luckily some Broadway award winner writers basically were able to contribute their time for them as well. Zoom, I think, solved a lot of our issues of people beyond the borders that want to help. So just messaging them, it's a Zoom call for 140 kids from South Los Angeles and around Los Angeles. All of them were showing up to just support them however they can.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, we our biz camp was traditionally live, and so for COVID as well, we didn't cancel. We brought
Nice.
kids. We had 50 kids in for the month of July, and we take them from the basics, and they present their business at the end of the month, and then they won money. So our youngest kid this summer was 10. He has an aspiration to be a multimillionaire by the time he's 22. And his personality, he is going to make that happen. So yeah, let's please. And we teach a curriculum called Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship. So it's a whole organization that's around the world. I would love to introduce you guys because some of the kids we teach them to create a business that's going to solve a problem. And so that we look at world problems and they look at creating a business somewhere in that capacity. We have someone that's online, Facebook. She says a problem solving strategy for kids to come up with innovative ideas and solutions is genius. Thank you, Moaz. And this is Gwen Goodman, and she's with the Black Women's Network. So another great organization that Michelle is a part of. Gwen, maybe you guys can get Moed and Sharon to come out and talk to the ladies. They're a huge organization. There is so many. If that's what you guys are looking for, we can keep you busy every day of the week.
It sounds like a charter school to me.
Yeah. I would love to have an entrepreneurial school that's what the kids for minority children, that when they came in the door, they're learning all of the basics, but they're learning how to create businesses. And I think it should start at kindergarten, and I think it should go all the way up. Moed, we'd get all of those type of businesses when they went to school, and they'd have a focus on why they were going to school. So that's my ultimate goal, is to have an entrepreneurial school for kids.
Absolutely. All the awesome things that happening around the world happen in room like this and conversation like this. So who knows what will this lead to? I'm open to it. Reach out to me and my colleague Sharon, and we'll basically see how can we help more and how can we be involved more in what you guys doing and how can we involve you more in what we're doing.
We
can tell that's your passion, because as soon as we started talking about kids, that smile on your face came there.
Well, it's our future. I always say that if we were to leave today, are we comfortable leaving our children to the world that they're living in right now? So everything I do is for our future and for the children of our future, and making sure that they're better prepared for that. And there's someone else that just popped in that would be a great connection for you guys. Chris Horton. He runs a diversity inclusion program up for the SBDC. He's up in the San Francisco area. So Chris, I don't know if you're there, but you should definitely be connecting with Moaz. You guys would do some amazing stuff together.
I welcome that opportunity, family. Thank you so much.
So Chris is doing some incredible stuff. I participated. For Black History Month, he did like a Shark Tank kind of event for the businesses up in the Bay Area. Oh my God, some medical businesses that were just incredible. So you two need to exchange some contact information because y'all got some synergy happening.
I'll put it in the chat.
All right. So Moaz, if you take Chris's information, you guys would do some really good stuff. It has been an awesome show. Thank you guys. And however we can help, there's a network of us out here that are working besides just in our jobs, but we do a lot of support into our community. Renee and Michelle, all of us are doing something that is helping others beyond ourselves and working hard for our community. So thank you, Robin, for bringing Moaz and Sharon. It's been a pleasure. I've connected with both of you on LinkedIn. I suggest everyone else to do the same thing and see if you can get these two amazing people to come talk to your groups. I think they will bring a lot of value. Gwen, you're on Facebook, so get their information. I'll make sure you get that so you can connect with the Black Women's Network. And anybody else. Chris is a great resource as well. So thank you so much. I think there's a congratulations in order for Roger. I saw something on Facebook, something you're doing. What are you doing? Somebody with you on mute. Take yourself off mute. Oh, can you get off mute? But I heard that you're doing a television show or something of that nature. But you're not on mute. But anyway, Roger, put that in the chat room, and we'll make sure next week that you guys do the same. Next week we have who's going to be on the Kimberly, I think, isn't it Kimberly? Let me find out who's going to be on. Mr. Steven is not here. He usually has this information at his fingertips. But we do want to thank you guys.
Crystal?
Yes?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. Okay. Yeah, it's with Annenberg TV Media.
So what's going to happen on Annenberg? What are you going to be doing?
I'm doing a show to inspire young people, other young people inspiring young people. Okay, with their careers and what they do, yeah. So
awesome. So, do you know when that's going to be airing?
I'll let you guys know.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, Mr. Roger, Danger Man, is our superhero in our community. He dons on his superhero costume and goes out and interacts with children to make this a better place for them. So thank you. Our guest next week is going to be Kimberly Brown. She's the managing director of Cushman and Wakefield. So please come back and join us, and make sure you tell a friend. This particular show is right now streaming on Facebook. It will be on LinkedIn shortly. Once I doctor it up a little bit, it'll be on LinkedIn, and you can also go find it at the Community Briefing on YouTube. Michelle says, great information. Sharon and Moaz, thank you so much for your passion and sharing with us today. Everyone is saying great show, and check out the Black Women's Network. I believe you got an event or something coming up, Michelle? Okay, so there's an event going on this weekend. Miss Ardina just co-authored a book, and it is now available. Get the information out of the chat. Let's support Ardina. Let's help them become a bestseller. Go on and buy the book, and also give her a great review. I am in awe. I've been trying to get a book penned for a while. I guess I took some time out, that could happen. But so proud of you, Miss Ardina. She's one of my clients, and so
Thank
I am
you.
very proud of her.
Thank you, Crystal.
Great, great, great. I hear we're in mourning. The Queen of England passed away shortly ago, I guess before we went on air. So much condolences to the royal family. She lived a good long life, from what I understood.
So I'm king now, right?
Yeah, you're king. Well, you got to kick her sons out the way, but but anyway. So thank you guys for joining us. We will see you next week. Be safe. Please try to stay out of this incredible heat. Maybe eventually it'll be over. Conserve some energy. I don't know how that happens. Robin has her hand up. Miss Robin.
I just wanted to say, as usual, voting is important.
Oh.
Elections are coming up November 8th. Please try to solicit 10 folks to vote with you, because when we show up, we win. If we show up, we win. And there was a time where we could not vote. So this is critically important that we continue to vote so that we can have the kind of resources that we need for our community, specifically for the MLK Community Hospital and the Dream Council and the work that they're doing, and all of the folks who are online with us every week who are doing exceptional work in the community, providing resources and information. Everybody have a wonderful day, and truly this was quite informative.
Yes, thank you guys so much. And voting is so important because November is upon us, and we got some idiots that are trying to run for office, and we want to stop that as soon as we can. Take your 18-year-olds, educate them, make sure they're just not checking boxes. Please educate everyone. There's some important ballots and propositions and legislation that's on the ballot. So start your research now. So that when it comes time for us to vote, and every election is important. So please, this election is predecessor to what's going to happen in 2024, and so we got to be connected, guys. There's some scary things going on in this world. I'm sure Moaz, he can attest to that, since he has been around the world and seen crazy fascist governments take over in a flash. So let us not be one of those, and let us protect the democracy. So
nobody realizes how connected is our voting here and decision we make here to the rest of the world.
Yeah, I was, and we're gonna sign off. I was watching Madam Secretary. I watched the whole series, and all of a sudden, everything in this world is completely connected. Whether it's happening 20,000 miles away from us, whatever we do makes a big implication on everything. So please, guys, go out and vote. Get informed, get connected, do your research now. We just can't willy-nilly go into the voting booth and just check a box. And we certainly can't ignore an election. So, yes, that's so important. All righty, guys.
Candidates, idiot, it is a compliment.
What, an idiot?
I said for some of the candidates running for office, idiot is a compliment to them. For them,
yeah,
they're below idiots. Yeah.
I saw a meme on Facebook the other day. It says, even animals don't allow idiots to lead them. They don't select an idiot to lead them. They have to have an alpha who knows what they're doing. So we really need to make sure we take heed. All right, guys, have a great week. Be safe, be cool. And Moaz and Sharon, we so appreciate your input. Let us know how we can help. And I will be reaching out to both of you on LinkedIn and staying connected. This has been great. Thank you, Robin, for these great individuals. We appreciate you. Love you guys. Have a great week.
Hasta la vista.